Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Sadia Yakubu. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channels 365 and StarTimes channels 276. The Speaker House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has called on government at the state and local levels to challenge the narrative in flood mitigation across the nation. Abbas made the call at the inauguration of the Ad Hoc Committee on Flood Management and Response in Abuja, and Niete Patrick reports.
And farmers. He added that the ministry is putting in measures to reduce the weight of vulnerable groups, with over 5 million Nigerians being given the compulsory cash to mitigate hardship meted on them.
More farmland are submerged and therefore leading to a lot of displacement and loss of those farmland. And in the end, after even the floods is gone, you find that areas of farms that normally you can cultivate is now becoming sandy field, thereby affecting also arable land that we can use to this. And I said on our own part as ministry, we are doing our effort to reduce the impact of such this into our food security.
The newly inaugurated chairman of the committee, Midala Balami, stressed the need for a comprehensive national framework, one that encompasses prevention, early warning systems, emergency response, community resilience, infrastructure development, and climate adaptation strategies.
The time for piecemeal approaches has passed and is long overdue. What we need now and what we are going to do is that we are going to have a kind of an urgent, a multi-sectoral, multidisciplinary approach. This approach will include harnessing our potentials and our resources.
Stakeholders from the National Emergency Management, Ministry of Water Resources, Health, Fire Services, Hydrological Agency and Meteorological Agency all pledged their support to the committee, saying it is the right step in the right direction owing to the loss of lives across the states due to flood. Anieti Patrick reporting for Global TV. Flooding has become...
Kebbi State Governor Comrade Nasir Idris has approved the formation of a high-powered committee to inspect and evaluate the scale of infrastructural damages caused by the recent flooding across the state. The committee, chaired by the Commissioner of Works, Engineer Abdullahi Umar Farouk, has been tasked to visit all affected sites and document the extent of destruction, provide verifiable evidence and cost estimates for rehabilitation and reconstruction, identify flood-prone and vulnerable areas requiring proactive measures, as well as recommend strategies to prevent future occurrences. Governor Idris directed the committee to submit its report within 1 week to enable immediate government intervention. As Nigerian prepares for the 2027 general election, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has called on the media to remain fair, balanced and professional in their coverage. The governor made this appeal while hosting members of the Nigerian Guild of Editors, led by its president, Eze Anaba, at the government house in Owerri. Amarachi Ibe was there for Global Television. In many parts of the world, a girl's right to learn is still seen as optional rather than essential. Yet, When you educate a girl, you transform her future and the society around her. Our correspondent takes a look at the issues that affect not just families but entire nation. Here is our report. Across the globe, more than 120 million girls are out of school. Poverty, early marriage, and cultural norms and poor infrastructure remain major barriers to their education. Behind each statistic is a name, a story, and a future waiting to be unlocked. According to reports from the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, every additional year a girl spends in school can raise her future earnings by up to 20%.
Of course, if you educate a single girl, it's like you have educated the entire society. And being a strong advocate of SDG 3 and SDG 4, I must tell you that we have already missed the way in Nigeria and especially in Arewa.
For the whole entire populace, education is very essential, particularly as you regarded to our female you are asking about now. Yeah. You know, if you train your daughter or a female child very well, you will enjoy it at later date. One, they are mothers, they take care of the children, they take care of the husband, the parents, and we can't do without a female child in society. Without female child, the system is not complete.
Girl child, I think there's this power every woman possesses that men cannot deny. And so many men are coming to realize it right now that it's very, very important to train their girl child.
In countries where girls complete secondary school, child mortality rates drop sharply. Educated women are also more likely to send their children to school, breaking cycles of poverty that have lasted generations.
When we educate girls, we empower future mothers, leaders, and entrepreneurs. The ripple effect goes far beyond the classroom. Initiatives like scholarship, safe transport, and mentorship programs are making education more accessible, because when you educate a girl child, you don't just change her life, you change the world. Sadia Yakubu, Global Television.
The federal government says Nigeria has recorded a major victory in the war against terrorism following the arrest of top leaders of the notorious Ansari group, Al-Qaeda affiliate operating in the country. At a press briefing in Abuja, the National Security Advisor Nur Ribadu confirmed the capture of Muhammad Usman, also known as Abu Bara'a, the self-styled emir of Ansar, alongside his deputy Mahmoud al-Najeri, Eliza Muhammad Malam Mahmoud. Over to our defense correspondent, Kikelomo Okeri.
The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, reveals that the arrests were made during a series of intelligence-led counter-terrorism operations carried out between May and July 2025. The NSA reveals that both men had long been on the wanted list of Nigeria, the United States, the United Kingdom, and the United Nations for orchestrating terrorist attacks, kidnapping, and armed robberies to finance terrorism.
Their operatives include the 2022 Kuje prison break, the attack on the Nigerian uranium facility, the 2013 abduction of French engineer Francis Olog in Katsina, the May 1st, 2029 kidnapping of Alhaji Musa Umar Kuba, Magadin Berikada, and so many other terrorist incidents and attacks. They were also behind the abduction of the emir of Wawa, and they maintain active links with terrorist groups across the Maghreb.
Ribadu described the development as one of the most significant counter-terrorism successes in Nigeria history. He urged citizens to remain vigilant and continue providing timely information to security agencies. The Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, applauded the effort of the security agencies, stressing that the Tinubu administration remains committed to safeguarding lives and property.
And second, to plead with you, I have maintained consistently that you do not give seed your foreign babies or your headlands to these terrorist criminals who are trying day and night to make sure that all of us will not find a place to sleep in this country. The gentlemen who are always seated here are toiling day and night to ensure that all of us sleep in our homes.
Idris also cautioned the Nigerian media against amplifying the activities of the terrorists, urging journalists to instead highlight the sacrifice of security forces. Kike Lomo Ukeri, Global Television News.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has returned to Nigeria, putting to rest rumors circulating on social media about his health. Akpabio arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, in the early hours of Monday at about 4 a.m. He was received at the presidential wing by senators, aides and supporters. Topsy Gimba has the rest of the story.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, returned to Nigeria following a widespread speculation online that he was critically ill and hospitalized in London. Speaking to journalists at the airport, the President of the Senate dismissed the reports, describing them as baseless and a product of misinformation.
There were lots and lots of rumors. Where is the Senate President? so I said, oh, I thought people didn't love me. so I had thousands of calls from everywhere. And I kept saying, I'm okay, I'm okay. And they said, are you sure? Are you sure? One particular emir, I won't mention in them, His Royal Majesty. He said, okay, if you're okay, put it on video. No video. He said, put it on video. Let me see your face. So I did, and we started laughing. He said, okay, I'm satisfied.
Before his London vacation, Akpabio had attended the 6th World Conference of Speakers of Parliament in Geneva, Switzerland, where he said Nigeria played a significant role in promoting democratic governance and strengthening collaboration among government institutions.
So the presence of Nigeria was very well felt. And I must say it wasn't a normal International Parliamentary Union meeting. This was something that happens once every 5 years. This was a world meeting of heads of parliaments and speakers all over the world. So I would say the world was there. And every country was given the opportunity to say one or two things. Myself and the speaker, we did our best.
The President of the Senate further assured Nigerians of renewed legislative drive when the Senate reconvenes from its recess. Topsy Gimba reporting for Global Television News.
The federal government, in partnership with the Federal Capital Territory Development Authorities, is commissioning the phase of 2 water treatment plants at Lower Sumo Dam in Abuja. The project is aimed at improving access to clean and safe water supply for millions of residents in the capital city, with the flag off scheduled to be done by the Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike. Details coming shortly on our subsequent bulletin of the day. Edo State Governor Monday Okpebholo has expressed displeasure over the low pace of work on the ongoing Benin-Sapele Road project despite the financial mobilization of contractors. A statement by the governor's Chief Press Secretary, Fred Itua, says Okpebholo also summoned the contractors handling the section of the road project, funded by the Edo State government, to explain reasons for delay or face serious sanctions. The governor drove through the over 20-kilometer stretch of road, stopped at several points, and inspected the quality of drain pavement and materials used for the construction. You're watching the live broadcast of Midday News. When Midday News returns, Macron warns against trusting Putin, calls him ugly at Europe's gates. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. And in business, President Bola Tinubu has commissioned a 40,000 cubic meter liquefied petroleum gas vessel named MT Iyejola Lagos in Ulsan, South Korea, and noted that Nigeria is poised to deliver clean and sustainable energy solutions, not just in the country, but also across Africa and beyond. A statement by Nigerian National Petroleum Commission Company Limited explained that the vessel is a dual-fuel, fully refrigerated liquefied petroleum gas carrier. Managing Director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, Abubakar Dansoho, has tasked his team to renew commitment towards continuous improvement of port efficiencies with a view to sustaining the positive export performance Nigeria has recorded so far in 2025. Speaking during the recently concluded NPA management retreat in Oni, River State, Dansoho stated that the organization is proud of the excellent work being undertaken by the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, as evidenced in the increased export numbers passing through the authorities' platforms. The Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission has commenced a fresh review of the formula for allocation of the national revenue among the three tiers of government. Disclosing these at a press briefing in Abuja, the chairman of the commission, Dr. Muhammad Shehu, stated that the commission has resolved to initiate the process of viewing the revenue allocation formula to reflect emerging socio-economic realities. The current formula stands at 52.68% for states, while 26.72% and 20.60% goes to the federal, state and local government respectively. On the foreign scene, there are fresh moves to secure a ceasefire in Gaza, with Hamas confirming it has received a new truce proposal for mediators. The plan was delivered in Cairo, where Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati stressed the urgency of reaching an agreement to end the war. Mukhtar Qasim reports.
Abdulati spoke at the Rafah border crossing during the visit of Qatar's Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani in what was seen as a ratio of joint diplomatic pressure. He said the meeting was aimed at consolidating Arab efforts and applying maximum pressure on both Israel and Hamas to accept the deal. The proposal, drawn up with United States backing, is said to include a 60-day pause in fighting, a phased exchange of hostages for Palestinian detainees, and increased humanitarian access to Gaza.
Are our partners in this process of negotiating a deal to put an end to the current starvation and the attacks on Gaza. So the Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister of Qatar is here to, consolidate our existing common efforts in order to apply maximum pressure on the two sides to reach a deal as soon as possible, because, as we mentioned, the current situation on the ground is beyond the imagination.
Rights groups continue to warn of catastrophic conditions in Gaza, where food and fuel shortages have left hundreds of thousands displaced, and aid agencies say famine is looming. International observers say the outcome of this Cairo meeting could determine whether the war edges closer to resolution or slides further into stalemate. Mukhtar Qasim, reporting for Global Television News.
French President Emmanuel Macron on Tuesday warned European allies not to trust Russian President Vladimir Putin, whom he called an ogre at our gates. Macron's remark came as Russian and Ukrainian President Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky looked set for a peace summit after fast-moving talks Monday between Donald Trump and European leader that focused on the key issue of long-term security guarantees for Kyiv. A Russian drone attack on a 5-story apartment block in Kharkiv has killed 5 people, including a toddler, and wounded more than a dozen, reducing parts of the building to rubble and sparking multiple fires. Hours earlier, a ballistic missile has already wounded at least 11 in the same city. while separate drone strikes in Odessa ignited a full felicity. The attacks comes as President Zelensky arrives in Washington for talks with President Trump, saying Ukraine cannot reclaim Crimea or join a North Atlantic Territory Organization under any peace deal. And in sports, Real Madrid coach Xabi Alonso said the team's shortened preseason will not be used as an excuse as they prepare to kick off their La Liga campaign at home to Osasuna on Tuesday. Alonso will take charge at the Santiago for the first time after beginning his regime at the World Club in the United States, where Madrid reached the semi-finals. Madrid's request to postpone their league opener to a later date was rejected by the Spanish football officials, and the team have played just one friendly since their 4-0 loss to Paris Saint-Germain in New Jersey on July 9th. Moses Itama has earned a career-best payout of approximately $1.5 million after his devastating knockout victory over Dillian Whyte in Riyadh on Saturday night. The 20-year-old British Nigerian fighter guaranteed purse of $1 million could raise to $1.5 with bonuses following his emphatic first-round stoppage of the veteran heavyweight at the ANB Arena. Whyte reportedly earned around $2.7 million for the bout, despite suffering his second knockout defeat in recent years when Itama floored him with a thundering right hand after just 119 seconds. The Nigeria Under-20 national team and the Flying Eagles have commenced their final phase of preparations for the upcoming FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Chile at the NFF/FIFA Goal Project in Abuja. Head coach Aliyu Zubairu is overseeing the team's readiness as they enter the most critical stage of their three-phase training. Speaking to the press, Zubairu said the squad features a blend of local players from within Nigerian and international-based players. That's it on Global Television Media News. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channels 365 and StarTimes channels 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. I am Sadia Yakubu saying thank you for watching.